You may know of the video game CSGO and its many thousands of incredible plays and shots shown by millions of players, but you've probably never heard of a phenomenon in which nobody has ever seen before. A phenomenon so unlikely that it never could have even been imagined. This incredible moment in history is known as the Ryu Buff. What is the Ryu Buff, you ask? I'll get to that in a second, but first I'll need to fill you in on all the context of the details that have never been seen until today, where I will be giving away all the secrets of the trade, the most classified unknown hack client that goes by the name of Ryu. The story begins 9 months ago from the making of this video on February 27th, 2021, when a new face appeared to the OG server, an unknown, unnamed person who only went by the nickname Ryu. On that February day, one of my fellow Goatified members, although Goatified hadn't really been established yet at the time, Daflin Donut had invited 2 players to join him up for a competitive Counter-Strike match. The first player was named Ethan. Wait, what the fuck? Hold on. I was invited as well, unknowingly walking into an era that would change the rest of the OG cinematic universe timeline forever. Daflin Donut at the time, living in Alabama, home of the inbreds, had kept some old friends, whom he would invite to play Counter-Strike for the first time. One of which being the unknown player who'd first shown their face in the community that day. Ryu. Soon after the initial encounter with Ryu, the members of the OG server started to notice something off about Ethan. He was asking to play CS significantly less than before, and when he was playing exclusively with Ryu alone. A few of the OG server members had already known about Ethan's simp nature, but to some people this came as a surprise. Not really. Eventually, Daflin Donut and I had noticed a drastic difference with Ethan, that we, at the time, were not really sure what the cause was. Ethan had gone from an average of 10 to 15 kills per game to a whopping 25 to 30 kills, essentially doubling his rates. With this new info coming in, I had to investigate further. I needed to figure out how and where exactly Ethan was getting this new unheard buff from. After spending the last 6 months secretly researching to find answers, I will finally show you what caused this to happen. Let's start from the very beginning. On February 27th, 2021, Daflin asked if anybody wanted to play CS with a friend who happens to be a non-prime player. Daflin then adds probably the most influential part, that it was a girl. Ryu was hesitant to play at first, but reluctantly asked if Daflin still wanted to play. Ethan came in late, which allowed Daflin to ask him on his own if he wanted to play with an unnamed non-prime player. Technically, both Daflin and Ethan's messages don't clearly define that that player was a girl. Therefore, Ethan might have accepted without knowing that she was a girl and accepted anyways, denying any simp accusations, but we can't know for sure. So let's keep going. Ethan and I are added to a call in which we played a few comps. At around the 3rd game or so, Ethan's KD is generally average for his standards at the time, with a solid 14 to 23 kill death ratio. After that very first time with Ryu had ended, she stated to Nathan that both me and Ethan were pretty chill though. Soon after this was seen by Ethan, Nathan sends another screenshot which shows Ryu, causing Ethan to get a boner. At this point, Nathan is asking Ryu if she still wants to play with Ethan and I, also known as J-Vu, in the future. To which she says, of course. Ryu also says that both me and Ethan were nice and chill. Be sure to keep this in mind. At this point, Nathan confesses to Ryu that Ethan would have been mad that he never got to play with Ryu again, to which she replies that it would have made things even more awkward. But the question is, make what more awkward? Let us commence forth. It was around this time that Ethan openly admits to DMing Ryu for the first time, calling her dry. Clearly a facade to hide his excitement. Here we see Ethan unintentionally displaying his excitement about Ryu to the public. And here we see Ethan's first DMs with Ryu again. However, this time she had changed her profile picture. Later, Nathan asks if Ethan wants to play CS with Ryu in an hour, in which she responded with, "An hour? A whole hour?" and then immediately accepts the request despite obviously displaying dismay with the wait time. This clearly shows that Ethan set aside the obstacles in order to reach the reward of playing with Ryu. A few days later, Nathan said that he was about to play CS with Ryu again in 20 minutes, which woke Ethan up like a dog, who instantly responds with the classic, "Yo!" Here we see Ethan asking if Ryu was online so that he could play CSGO with her. Here we see Ethan's natural instincts hone in on Ryu, abstaining from playing any CS until his new friend got on. It was at this point in time that people were beginning to notice the amount of attention that he was giving to Ryu. Strange, but not many people gave much thought. Ethan had already begun to play with Ryu a lot more than anybody could have expected beforehand. Here are his stats during the beginning phase of playing with her. He started at a pretty decent 1622. Nothing crazy though. Time goes on and he brings up Ryu out of nowhere more often. He even receives a text from her which I will not read out loud. Ethan then goes 8 to 27, then brings up the idea of queuing up a game with Ryu later. And then all of a sudden, Ethan goes 19 and 22, which isn't exactly an incredibly good KD, but it was enough for both me and Kartike to acknowledge his improvement. As time went on, Ethan started to become slightly better. Soon after the 19 and 22 game, Ethan showed his face in the server again, this time with the 16-16 KD. The first time he hadn't gotten a negative KD this entire video. Ethan began to become carried away with DMing Ryu and he had to flaunt it, sending screenshots of Ryu's profile picture in the top left corner of his Discord menu, signaling that she had messaged him. But no one really cared. Ethan then picks up a game going 19-19. We see even more improvement here. Once again a 1 KD, so not negative, but this time with 3 more kills than last time. At this point, I had definitely noticed things were different with Ethan. Not only in his KD, but also the way that he talked to Ryu, which I explained here. I caught him in 4K. You can read the messages for yourself. Even Kartike catches them in 4K with the whole screenshot of Ryu admitting to both her and Ethan dating. Incredible. Now they're going on dates in Amirage, and there's also a very perfect quality screenshot of Ethan being disappointed that he would not be able to play with Ryu until the following Wednesday, which Cart labeled as a couple's issue. Now you might be saying, a 1919 KD isn't even a buff really, it's not even like that good. Like you only got 1 KD. You want the evidence? I'll give you the evidence. 14-6, 21-10. 27-16. Even Julian was doing worse than Ethan in this game. 31 and 18. What the hell? Meanwhile, Ryu was going 7 and 20, obviously meaning that she was capable of transferring her skill over to Ethan. 25-25, 28-13, 21-19. Ryu is going 9 and 22. Another example of the skill transfer. 29-18. Ryu is now going 6 and 22. 25-23. Now she's going 12 and 24. Are you seeing the trend here? As you can see, the higher KD that Ethan is getting, the lower KD that Ryu gets, and the lower KD that Ethan is getting, Ryu's KD becomes higher. This is 100% proof that the Ryu buff is absolutely real. And not only that, but now we know the mechanics of the Ryu buff. She transfers her skill over to Ethan, which allows him to pop off. Soon after this trend is discovered, we begin to openly speak on the Ryu buff, which causes Ethan to deny. This is the perfect example of hindsight bias. Honestly, Mr. Healy, AP Psych, where you at? Exhibit A. Exhibit B. He denies the Ryu buff exists just because his hands were freezing. Come on, man. Exhibit C. The buff isn't real, guys. Exhibit D. He now is pointing the Ryu buff finger at Joseph for some reason, despite the fact that Joseph is a top tier OG player. He should be getting that type of KD normally. Mans is literally on a Valorant team. I would be surprised if he didn't pull that KD off. Exhibit E. Claims that he doesn't need Ryu to do well. Exhibit F. Exhibit G. Exhibit H. He really said, WTF is Ryu doing? But as you can see, his KD and her KD match up to the skill transfer principle, which everybody was already aware of. Exhibit I. Now everybody's aware of the Ryu buff, including Ali, who literally lives under a rock, and that's saying something. And there you have it. All the proof is there. From this, we can conclude that the Ryu buff is most definitely real. We also know how it began and the mechanics of the buff. The worse she does, the better he does. We have also addressed his bias towards the Ryu buff not existing, despite the millions of screenshots that I've presented that clearly show that it indeed exists. Also, remember how I told you to keep the fact that Ryu called us nice and chill in mind? Here's why. Take the word nice and the word chill. Remove the letter N. What do you have now? Ice chill? Ice like ice cream? Chill like chilling? Ice cream chilling? Bing chilling? Which also happens to be Ethan's secret Chinese name? That's it. Game over, Ethan. You're done. Now, while the Bing chilling element automatically proves that my argument is correct, I think we need some other opinions on this. Let me ring up some people who have experienced the effects of the rebuff firsthand, and let's see what they have to say about it. Yo, what's up, Davlin? Hey man, thanks for agreeing to be on here with me today. You know, I just wanted to get your opinion on something really quick. So dog, listen. So is it true that there is a certain buff that is implemented whenever Ethan plays with Ryu? Oh shoot, okay, listen, like real fast, how do you feel that Ethan is taking your time with Ryu away from you and keeping it all for himself? Yo, chill, man, chill. Yo, Sean,
Oh,
do you think Ethan is actually getting a buff from Ryu whenever he plays CS?
yeah.
I knew it!
Jeff. I got the fattest information about Ryu, bro. No kizzy, zero cap.
Like
All
the Ryu buff?
yes, the Ryu, because like, listen, I saw Ethan and you in the bed together.
Yo, what's good, Ryu? So listen, there's this whole conspiracy about you giving a certain buff to Ethan in CSGO matches. Are these allegations true, and is there anything that you would like to address?
No, bro, it's obviously not real. Your evidence is extremely biased towards the Ryu Buff existing, and your screenshots of Ethan talking about me are taken completely out of context. So your quote unquote simping aspect are completely invalid. Also, why does Ethan becoming good at CS mean that I give him a buff? You never addressed that this so-called buff could really just be Ethan's own improvement over time after playing the game for 9 months after I was introduced to him. That doesn't mean that I give him any buffs. Also, correlation does not equal causation. So just because Ethan plays really well while I'm in his game doesn't mean that I'm the reason why he plays so well. Literally just plays as well when I'm not there. But you just didn't have screenshots of that. This whole video is stupid and your entire reasoning is probably the worst reasoning that I've ever heard and seen in my entire life.
Wait. So you're saying that my evidence is biased?
Yes.
And you're also saying that all the screenshots I use are taken out of context?
Yes.
So what you're trying to say is the Ryu buff is real?
Yes.
Wait. Told you!
No, wait!